Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cropper here. For the hell of it, let's just because it's always up there. And those are up there too. No Man is an Island, a selection from the prose of John Donne. It is a folio book. So let us embark on the cover. No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. If a clod be washed away by the sea, Europe is the less, as well as if a promontory were, as well as if a manor of thy friends or of thine own were. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind. There's the key line. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind. And therefore, never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. So I just trying to do a random video off the subject of Islam and the war with Islam. Something different, something off the subject of Islam and the war with Islam. And I pulled the randomest book off the shelf. This one right behind me. And it says, every death is a death of you. Ask not for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. You know that that's the name of a Hemingway book. And if you've never read anything by Hemingway, do it before you die. It's not like Ayn Rand. It's not an imperative immediate you need to get to. It's not like Hayek or Aristotle or something that you really ought to get a piece of before you die. But take a bit of Hemingway in before you die. A short story or two. He wrote the book called For Whom the Bell Tolls. And he quoted a couple lines from Yonder Poem by John Donne in the front of that book. Ask not for whom it tolls for you. When you're standing in the village square and you hear a funeral going on, don't say, who's that's died? You died. Or will. So when there are political assassinations, for example, people dying in wars that are not necessary, whatever, what have you, get serious. That's life and death. And it's not someone else's life and death, as John Donne says. It tolls for you. This speaks again and again. I keep doing videos, and the theme is this, or the theme is that, the idea is this or that. But then when the video gets rolling, the main theme is the Middle East. As Fortuyn said, F-O-R-T-U-Y-N. I don't know how to pronounce it. As he said, there's no other issue today. There is not another issue. It is the issue. I heard a gentleman speaking at from the von Mises Institute, and he said, no, it was Ron Paul. I heard it from Ron Paul. That's right. He says, look, we fought the Soviet Union, right? That was ugly and long. They had thousands of nuclear warheads. We were worried about civilization for decades on end. It turned out that there were a lot of exaggerated threats. Come here. Stop it. It turned out there were a lot of exaggerated threats or whatever. Okay. And we're going to have to fight Islam in the same way. I'm interspersing that comment there. We're going to have to fight Islam the same way we fought the Cold War. But then Ron Paul says, look, now we're fighting a bunch of third world countries. who might be able to get a nuclear weapon or two together on a few years' notice. We used to be fighting a scad of nuclear weapons available any instant from one massive national power. And now we're fighting the possibility of a couple of nukes maybe in a few years' time, possibly reaching American soil, type of thing. And his spiel was that the CIA didn't protect us against 9/11. Do you know George Tenet said to Condoleezza Rice on the morning of September 11th? Someone had said, or you heard on the TV, the Twin Towers have been hit with it. One of the Twin Towers has been hit with an airplane. Twin Tower number 2 or 1 been hit with an airplane. And he said, I hope it wasn't those guys from the flight school in Minnesota. And it was. For that to be his off-the-cuff reaction, we know that the agency that was out to protect me and you and our lives and our day-to-day activities knew about the threats to our lives and did nothing. One of the reasons they did nothing is because if they did something about it, me and you would have protested that our rights were being violated. So there's not really an option. We have to do away with that. They violate our rights by looking in on us all the time. And they don't do shit about us when we're threatened. That is the textbook definition of tyranny. And Ron Paul wants to do away with the CIA and FBI except for the intelligence gathering arms or whatever. And frankly, CNN's way better at getting intelligence than our government. The president watches CNN for a few minutes before he comes out and does a press conference to get the latest update. You know, if he goes to the CIA or FBI, they can tell him about 7 months ago or whatever. They don't know shit about what happened yesterday. Well, to end on a bright note, there are too many people in America with guns and rifles and pistols to let any foreign dictatorship take over.